What it do, what it do, what it do? My name is Nathan Dash, and welcome to the Outer Worlds Part 7. We have Victor, Mac, and Felix with us just because I wanted to. Alright, so this is apparently Stellar Bay. Is this an elevator? Yes, okay, here it is. Let's try to figure out where the hell it was. And this is Grim. Hello.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in. Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
Well, that is my ship on the landing pad next to you.
I knew it. See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
What are they doing out here?
You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic. Us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Alex Hawthorne.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
Stellar Bay really that isolated?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are Sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
You're not, what I expected to find here.
Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Did he just say raptidons and cannibals? I can't wait.
Are you saying the board's been lying?
Oh, sure. They make Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell.
Ah, the nostalgic stench of home. Can't say I miss the day-to-day of living in Edgewater.
Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though.
Alright, well, I'm gonna take a look around, buddy.
Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor?
Alright, what is it?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next Sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
Who's the Black Hole?
Boss, come on. Black Hole Birdie, the Hole Meister, the Hack Attack.
That's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest tossball hackers ever. Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You been living in a sulfur pit or something?
And why is he called the Black Hole?
On account of him being the best hacker who ever played. Nothing gets by him. He sucks up every ball that comes his way.
Alright.
Whatever you say, I could talk tossball for hours.
Yeah, I'll ask about your poster, buddy.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Okay, buddy. Whatever you say. He's good. I like him. He's a cool guy. It's God damn, dude. I need to sell something, right? feel like that gets me like no bits at all. What the hell? How big is Stellar Bay? Not even that big at all, actually. Nice. That's the.
What are the
main
chances
place.
of all the times and places we could have been born?
The bar.
Yeah.
We're here,
where we'll find
light
a
years
Yogi,
from
I
Earth,
think.
going about our lives.
Every time the
Oh, wow.
clock feels, a worker burns his knees.
Is this Mr. Sanjar? I believe
Could
so.
I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
How generous.
Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself?
I'm charting my own path. Going where it takes me, my guy.
What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Halcyon. Not outside Tartarus prison, anyway. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only, I take it this means you aren't here for Saltuna.
Afraid not.
Oh, a shame. I'd been saving a bottle of iceberg-aged whiskey for an occasion like this. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
If you free the other corporations, why would you want to bring them back?
Because he's scared to go it alone. You need the board to hold your hand and tell you everything's gonna be okay. Ain't that right?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
Aren't you tired of scrounging and scraping by, though?
Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Can't imagine why you'd sneer at the notion of a free colony. Could it be because you're an agent of the establishment?
I used to be young and idealistic too, but you can't run a city on high-minded ideals.
Exactly. Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged from practicality.
Sounds like something out of the chairman's own notes, Vic.
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very words from my brain.
So what do you mean to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Returning to the board is your only chance if you hope to survive here on Monarch. That doesn't mean it'll be easily achievable.
Indeed not. No worthwhile plan was ever simple. That's what I always say.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
Alright, what's the plan then?
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Fine, but how do you mean to do that?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
What is that?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
I was starting to get bored listening to you until you said the phrase extremely powerful ordnance.
It is quite the rush.
Alright, once you have that, what's the other part of the plan?
I'll need to gather some supplemental materials, but I mustn't get ahead of myself.
You do tend to do that.
The Bolt 52 will be in the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. And these days, it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Alright.
Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Alright, well, before I go, I got some questions, buddy.
What can I do for you?
He doesn't seem like a bad guy. I met Grim on the landing pad.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
Amazing job.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
I'm looking for an information broker.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate.
So, how do I get to Devil's Peak?
You'd head south along the road and look for a mountain to the west. Not that I'd advise it. It's a terribly dangerous trek. But if you insist on going, I'd recommend taking a local guide. Nyoka would be a prime candidate.
If you can keep her sober.
Alright, well, I guess I have questions about MSI in the old days.
Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes.
What's the hazard clause?
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous. A necessary evil for the greater good of society. That's exactly how the board describes it.
And they invoked a monarch.
Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way.
So what exactly do you want back on the board? Or why do you want back on the board?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Yeah, and once you go back to him, he'll own your dignity too.
Without the board, chaos would overtake the system. Working within the established order isn't a principle to snub one's nose at, Captain.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
You know, I can't fault you.
Indeed, we've got to consider realities, not ideals. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Leverage is what you want, huh?
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
So how did you guys even get kicked off in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Do you mean that you initiated your own removal?
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. Back then, it was known as Terra 1.
Terra 1 and 2, I see the board put their best people on that one. I'm not gonna say that. What happens to the other corporations?
As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
But not at MSI.
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to.
And how did that work out?
Most regard Monarch as a lost cause. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
How forward-thinking of you. We're just gonna be nice to him.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
I take it your leadership didn't embrace your ideas.
No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2, along with everyone else.
Yet, here you are.
Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
But why?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws.
Your first mistake was expecting the board to cut you a fair deal.
I understand the sentiment, but if we can't rely on some sort of framework, then what do we have? I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Alright, I think that's it.
What can I do for you?
Peace out, my man. Alright, what about you?
Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
Grim asked me to check with you about his tossball poster.
You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grim wore her patience thin a long time ago.
Earlier, I overheard you say you were having money trouble.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
Do you normally blow your money on Raptidon parts?
Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really.
Why are you buying so much from Sebastian? I don't even know who Sebastian is.
So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else. Sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff, and some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
Maybe I can talk to him for you.
Would you? I'd appreciate that so much. Maybe don't tell him I wanted you to ask. Just that you met this really nice lady named Celia, and she seemed... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Wait, real quick. What do you see in him?
He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises.
So you really want to be with someone you can't talk to?
You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny.
There are other fish in the sea.
Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like salt tuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good smile and a proportionate upper to lower body ratio isn't something to pass up.
Alright.
Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
Okay, so we came from this way. The only place we haven't gone is the yacht club, so I guess we'll go through here, check through here. Okay. What is this? So it's just a worker house.
If you want to talk to the boss,
Back of the warehouse. You.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry.
What are you, talking about?
Sorry. Seems I got my cables crossed. Thought you were another shakedown tough from Fallbrook. Hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing.
What's this about your foreman?
Caleb Herrick runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials. He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I pay them more.
Okay. Why don't you just pay them more?
Because we've got a budget, all right? And in case you haven't noticed, MSI doesn't exactly have a lot of spare bits on hand.
I could talk to him for you.
You mind slapping him around a little while you're at it? I'm joking. Mostly. Unless you can do it without hurting his job performance. If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Check the yacht club. He's usually there.
Tell me about your, missing coworker.
Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess.
Don't you have rules about that sort of thing?
We're not keen on rules for rules' sake around here. Means Braxton skips work sometimes, but it also means no company boss is telling me when I can take a shit.
These MSI types are living the dream.
Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra drugs he's been taking from supply. Something else on your mind?
I'm here to ask about Grimm's poster.
This again? I swear, this is the last time I contract for any special requests. You can tell Grimm his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer for it. So now it's going to Nell. That about cover it?
You're just giving away Grimm's poster? Didn't he pay for it?
No. I paid Sublight for it. So it's mine. And when Nell pays me for it, it'll be hers. Grimm may have asked for the poster, but it's not his until I take his money.
Alright, you still have the poster, right?
It's staying locked up in my office until Nell shows with her money. She runs the betting parlor across the way.
Who?
Nice professional lady.
I fucking had my mic muted.
She asked me about the poster once. Just once. Made a real generous offer, too.
So it's about money.
Damn right it is. Fine by me.
Alright, we'll have to see what we got here. You said Braxton had been stealing drugs.
Stealing's such a nasty word. Let's call it skimming. And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the sterile biotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton's shifts.
Awfully nice of him to not say anything. Or awful nice of you.
We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get the salt tuna, fat, and mostly tumor-free.
Okay, and who's this Catherine or Catherine? Catherine! You mentioned.
Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a ground six spacer.
Alright, we'll be back. We'll be back! Nice, so this is... What even is this place?
Velma seem out of sorts too?
She's always cranky.
No, I mean, more than usual.
Wouldn't know. I made it a point to stay out of her way.
Nothing back here in these back areas. Okay. So the only place back here then I guess is... Oh, what is this? Whoa! Like a giant lab, but no one's in it. Okay, toss ball.
Ooh, you're the new face. Wow, you must be up on all the latest tossball games. So who do you follow? Wait, don't tell me. You look like a Hammersmith Thunder fan. No, Glacial Age Mammoths.
I play for Auntie Cleo's, darling. Don't you recognize me?
The Darlings? Seriously? I mean, yeah, you're looking at the Darlings' newest recruit. Boss is a shoo-in for Rookie of the Quarter.
I'd heard they'd gotten a new hacker. Is that why everyone's making such a fuss about you? But what are you doing on Monarch?
This is part of a goodwill tour of Halcyon. We're meeting our fans across the colony.
Maybe we're not so isolated as I thought.
You get to listen to games all day? Stellar Bay really is a paradise.
It's pretty swell, but it's a whole lot better with company. Say, I don't think I've seen you before, and I'd remember that face.
I'll try not to be a stranger then. Name's Felix, by the way.
We're gonna listen quietly.
You should stop by more often. The games are always better when you've got someone to celebrate with.
Sounds like a good time. I wouldn't mind bringing a couple drinks and settling in for the pennant match.
Look at me, getting carried away again. So, what can I do for you?
You said you were having trouble receiving the Tossball game transmissions?
Graham's always filling the airwaves with this propaganda, like it's done him any good. All it means is the tossball games get to us in fragments. Makes them real hard to watch.
Nice. Well, Velma tells me you outbid Grim for a signed Tossball poster.
Signed by the Black Hole himself. There's no way I could pass that up. Why, did you want to see it? I don't have it yet. I'm waiting on a few customers to pay up before I can give Velma the bits.
I think it's really brave of you to outbid Sanjay's best friend.
You mean dopey landing pad Grim? I didn't know he and Mr. Nandi were friends. I guess that changes things. Fine. Tell Velma that I don't want the poster anymore. I'll find something else to hang in my shop.
Alright. Well, that was, cool, I guess. There's supposed to be like a shop area or something. What the fuck is this?
Help! Someone's been killed!
What?
I think I'm gonna be sick.
You alright, buddy?
No! I just stepped in a dead man's blood. And I think one of the flies landed on my mouth. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. That's where the body is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go contemplate a hot shower.
Okay.
Murder?
Oh, wow.
Hey, is this the part where we go hunting for clues?
Oh,
What
not
a
yet.
gruesome way
Not
to
yet.
die.
We'll come back. Crazy. Hello.
Good day to you.
Chef Raymond!
Whoa, by the stars, my poor heart. I just about pissed my jumpsuit.
Why would anyone say that?
Because there's no shame in having overactive bladder muscles, alright? It's a perfectly normal medical condition.
We're used to folks swooning at our feet. You don't gotta be embarrassed.
A healthy survival reflex is nothing to be embarrassed about. Besides, this place is enough to try anyone's nerves.
Ever thought about leaving?
Only every day. But in case you haven't noticed, we don't exactly get ships on a regular basis, yours notwithstanding. And even if I did scrape together enough to buy passage out with sublight, which would mean reaching Fallbrook without getting eaten, shot, or dissolved into green goop, what then?
Why don't you just tell me?
Nothing. That's what. Because MSI is not in what you'd call good standing with the board. So even if I could get out of here, no one's gonna hire me.
That sounds rough, my guy.
Even talking about it has my blood pressure up. I've really gotta stop.
So what do you have against this town?
Where should I begin? With the oversized mantisaurs? Or perhaps the rap spewing acid at our walls? The board was right. This place isn't fit for human habitation. And I was a fool for staying.
Why did you decide to stay in the first place?
Sanjar, of course. He had all these glorious ideas about how he'd run Monarch. Rest periods between every work shift. No shift more than 10 hours long. It all sounds wonderful, until you realize there's only a few centimeters of repurposed steel between you and the deadliest creatures in the galaxy.
Seems like you want more than centimeters, huh?
I could do with a few kilometers of cold vacuum, but that spaceship is flown.
Yeah, so he doesn't want help with nothing, huh?
Lucky you.
You! Stop that! What do you think you're doing?
I was just leaving.
Well then, carry on.
Alright, so that's his personal, personalized security guard. Nice. Who are you? Hello?
Please, will someone help me? Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a Raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
Calm down, take a deep breath, tell me what happened.
Don't you tell me to calm down. I promised my boy I'd protect him for always. But how can I keep him safe if he's run away? He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the Raptidons, Mantisaurs, and Marauders, the toxic sulfur pools and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen. Please, won't you go and find my boy?
Why would he run?
He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A Raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have listened to his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe here with me.
I think this lady's the issue. Where would he have gone?
He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the Iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boy's run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a Mantiqueen hasn't spooled out and eaten his entrails for breakfast already.
Where's Amber Heights?
That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse, the thought of my son shacking up with them nutty iconoclasts, or that he never made it. Sprats could be nesting in his rotting body alongside the road as we speak. Or maybe Marauders got him, pulled all his teeth out, crushed him into their drugs and made him snort them. Oh, the things that could happen to my sweet baby.
What were you saying about the Iconoclasts? That's that group that probably gave us that radio message when we first landed here.
Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting. Like it's noble to risk it all out there, fighting for the greater good.
Not sure I'm seeing the problem here.
You're one of them, aren't you? You should be ashamed of yourself, young man. Just as your mama would be. How noble is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. But still they preach their sermons of anarchy and rebellion to anyone who listened. If they weren't holed up in Amber Heights, I'd knock them all upside the head.
Did you say there was a reward?
Well, I guess I can't ask you to leave the town walls for free. It is deathly dangerous out there. I've got some bits saved up for a rainy day. I'll give you every last one if you just bring my Tucker back to me. I won't even be mad at him running off. You tell him I won't be mad.
You got it.
Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
What a crazy gal, huh? Yep.
Wrap Musk and Canadize, right here.
Oh, it was Sebastian. Let's talk to you first.
Well, well. The only new folk I ever see in town are sublight runners from Fallbrook. But you don't look like one of Catherine's. What can I get you?
Oh, she's literally
all
just a
sales.
trader. Okay. What is that? I like look at that, but it's just not gonna work out. Sebastian, my man.
Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in Raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails? You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts?
Why would I want any of that, my guy?
I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe I was onto something.
Mr. Pickett?
He came to Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters. Mantiqueens, especially.
Why was he interested?
Who wouldn't be?
People who value self-preservation.
Now that just sounds like a fancy way to say boring people.
Have you ever seen a Mantiqueen? He's gonna say yes, and he's gonna be capping.
Sure, they're real big. Hard to miss them.
Where?
Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett. But I haven't seen him in a few weeks. To tell true, I'm starting to get a bit worried about him. Tell you what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. Help him out if he's got himself in trouble. Fair deal?
Got it.
All right then. Leave town through the southern gate, the one right here, and head past the abandoned ruins. Last Mantiqueen I saw was in the wilds out that-a-ways. Could be Mr. Pickett still out there, too.
Alright, let's talk about Cecilia, or Celia.
Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that Raptidon acid is working out. I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seems interested in this stuff.
Would you consider going on a date with her?
Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this so she could get a discount, hmm? Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice and slow, so I understand. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for Raptidon tongues.
Don't take my word for it. Spend some time with her. I promise you won't ask for a discount.
You sound pretty sure. And she is awful nice. Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice. Maybe to Chef Raymond's.
Nice. That's the same place, huh? I just came in through different entrances. Good news.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? What did he say?
You know. He said he'll go on a date with you.
Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or like he was just agreeing to it? Was he like, yay, a date with Celia? I've secretly been waiting for this. Or was it more, sure, I don't have anything else going on?
He likes you. Just don't ask for a discount.
Not to worry. If I never buy another Raptidon tongue, it'll be too soon. Ah, look at me going on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and Mr. Nandi's giving me that back-to-work look. Anyhow, thank you.
Okay. And then we're gonna go to our map here. That was pretty much everything. We have so many quests right now. Holy shit. Space crime, faction quest, companion quest. Search apartment for clues. Go to Braxton's apartment. Convince Caleb to return to work. Give Grim his tossball poster. Grim's gonna be so glad. He's got his tossball poster back. Alright, here we go.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt tuna guts.
Ugh. Can we work something? Or can we come do an arrangement on the poster?
Sure can. If you want to pay me more than Nell's offering.
Give me a sec. Nell's no longer interested in the poster.
That's a surprise. Tossball being part of her business and all. Take the poster then. And if I never hear another word about it, it'll be too soon. Something else on your mind?
I didn't give her any money for that poster. And she said, oh, I can't hand it over to Grim or Nell unless they give me money. Bullshit, because I didn't give you a single drop. Alright, lady. Grim.
Have you had time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's come in.
I mean, I got it.
Would you look at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink on Mr. Holcomb's signature. I can't thank you enough. Still, you can have the bits I was going to spend at the bar this week. And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker, too. Never get the chance to use it these days.
Booyah, baby! And we back. I guess we'll do melee, right? Pretty good. Oh no. Something new in the codex. Okay. Melee powers and attacks. Search the apartments for clues would be an interesting one. Okay, we're gonna go back to the apartment and search for this murder. Last place we're gonna go today. Who are you?
Laws. Can a man enjoy the smooth menthol flavor of a Stogie Slim in peace?
You've got a lot of brass for a man doing nothing.
What I am doing, sir, is enjoying the moment. It's so rare that I can seize one apart from the jabbering masses of this wretched place.
What are you, talking about?
This Law's forgotten town. Cut off from the rest of the colony. Removed from any culture. I recall when Stellar Bay was a proper board-affiliated town with regular shipments of Auntie Cleo's best and all the cereals. Before Sanjar took over MSI and got us all booted.
So you miss the good old days?
Days of consumption and culture. When we weren't squabbling with the iconoclasts for lack of better things to do. Look, you're making me melancholy. Is there something you wanted?
Nope. I was just wondering who you
Who
are.
wants
what
to play
you're
an
up
impromptu tossball match?
You're gonna
No
lose,
one?
buddy.
Really?
I beat you, Vicar. You know it too. Is there anyone important in here? No front desk guy? Okay. We're searching for clues here. Let's see what we have. Is there anything in here? Alright, my bad, y'all. What is this thing we just got here? We just picked up something. We're still searching the apartment for clues. Did that. Nothing over here. Corporate Service Award.
Shh, easy now.
Alright, we're missing something in here. Let's see what we got here. Not clear, but something in the apartment point me in the right direction. You think? Ah, the bag. What is it gonna lead me to the investigated left field toss ball betting? Okay. We're getting down to the bottom of this murder. We will see what goes down. Why do I feel like this is a long way to get where the fuck I need to go? Okay, here we go. Bink. Bink. Hello?
Here to catch a game? I'm afraid the transmission's still pretty bad. What can I do for you?
Well, well, well. I found this betting slip in a dead man's apartment. Any idea what might have happened to him? Nell.
Poor Isaac. I was wondering why I hadn't seen him in a few days. I'd really like to help. Isaac was a sweet fellow, even if he did have terrible teeth.
What do his teeth have to do with anything?
They were pretty distinct. Monarch doesn't exactly have a thriving dental industry, and Isaac seemed to get stuck in all sorts of bad habits, dietary and otherwise. Sometimes he'd drink purpleberry punch by the liter, other times he'd keep betting on a losing team, started owing the wrong people money.
So, who did he owe?
I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his buddies pushing Isaac around. They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town, drop supplies off behind the warehouse, and spend the rest of their stay getting rowdy over tossball games. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into trouble with one of them.
Thanks for the tip.
Mr. Sanjar will be pleased to hear about it when you're done. I know he gets fed up with the Fallbrook bullies, but there's not much he can do.
Alright, Elijah and the gang. Elijah and the gang. In a dark alleyway behind the yacht club. We'll see what happens.
This is the simple truth. We are all molecular machines. The body is a collection of atoms. The mind is a consequence of chemical reactions. Therefore, our lives are predestined along a path that is only visible in retrospect.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Nah.
This is our secret alley.
No, it's mine.
Berta already pissed by those crates to market.
Mine. I know you murdered Isaac.
Listen, that purple-toothed twerp had it coming. Not that anyone has proof. And not that it's any of your business.
I'm making it my business.
Oh yeah? What are you saying exactly?
You've bullied people long enough. If you know what's good for you, you'll clear out and never come back, motherfucker.
Wow. Most of the pencil pushers around here cave as soon as you look at them funny. Fine, we're going. This ain't worth it.
What an easy way to handle it. You know, I would have liked to get into a gunfight because feel like most of this game has been talking to people. But that's what I love about these games too. Hello, hello.
You should know you're getting excellent reviews from across the company. What can I do for you?
Isaac Rose is dead. I found the people who killed him.
But that's terrible. What happened?
It was Elijah and his hooligan friends. I ran them out of town.
I'm glad to hear you've dealt with them. They've been causing quite a bit of trouble around town. I've been consumed with other matters of late, but I would have dealt with them eventually.
Of course, of course.
Of course I would have. Still, your intervention in the matter is much appreciated. Please consider this payment for your services.
Alright. That's one more down. One more down in the quest log. Okay, let's see what we got here. Go to Braxton's apartment. Which is gonna be in the apartment building. Same as the murder. Who are you? You actually almost look like a character of importance. Of pizzazz.
Whatever you do, don't mention tossball to Isaac.
Hello, buddy.
Oh, you startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh?
Why is everyone in this town so jumpy?
Jumpy? Who's Jumpy? I'm not Jumpy.
I'm looking for Braxton. Have you seen him?
Braxton? I've never even heard of a Braxton. Got nothing for you, sorry.
You've been taking drugs.
No! Okay, maybe, just a little. Braxton always has a good stash, and I just like to let loose a little. Stop thinking about the Marauders and the Raptidons outside, you know?
So you do know Braxton. Where can I find him?
Oh, damn. He told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick, and he had some meds on hand. So maybe look for him there?
Got it.
You wanna know what I think? This Braxton fella threw away the trappings of society and joined a pack of wild Raptidons.
You're funny, Felix. You're a funny guy. Okay. Let's do Radio Free Monarch and go to this bar here because we do need to speak with...
How does it feel?
Someone in this bar. And I want to complete all the quests
Serving
in
an
here.
instrument of corporate supremacy.
And then work on that.
Let me hazard a guess. You're talking about the church.
Who are you?
Is it...
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
I'm about to get laced.
If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
Why is this place called the Yacht Club?
Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all.
Are there any yachts in Stellar Bay?
Nope. But a man can dream.
You said you're not used to seeing new faces around here.
Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the Iconoclasts or some such.
So what happened in Amber Heights?
Bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled out of Monarch not long after. I thought everyone knew. But then that was 10 years ago. Still feels fresh to us every time we look at our walls, though.
So how well do you know Naoki? Or Naoka?
Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka, on account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you?
No, sir. You must be Nyoka. Hello, hello. Are you our final companion? You may be.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding all over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud.
Excuse me.
Don't interrupt, it's rude. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn Rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you?
Who are you?
Name's Nyoka. I'm the best big game hunter on the planet.
You're also the loudest big game hunter on the planet. And the drunkest.
Shut the Fair point. I deserve it, though. On account of being the best.
You're a hunter? You ever killed a Rapt with your bare hands?
That's a good question.
Matter of fact, I was just regaling our drink master here of a time when a baby Rapt snatched an heirloom of mine. Had to chase it halfway to Fallbrook. When I finally caught it, I was so mad I tore its jaw clean off. Reached in, wrenched my medallion from its belly. Caught me an awful burn. But I'd say it was worth it.
A burn? You were disfigured? That Rapt leave you with some sort of grisly-looking scar?
Hey now, woman's gotta have her secrets.
You sound like you'd be a great hiking companion.
Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you?
I do have the bits. Let's do it.
Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger?
I'm told you can help me find an information broker.
Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head.
I'm not in the mood. Or no, fuck, I'm not doing that one. What do you need?
Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set.
You mean caffeinoid? That stuff's just a stimulant.
Well, they work. We got a deal or what?
Alrighty. Map. Give me one sec here. Oh, where's Caleb? He's up there, okay. What is he doing? All of his buddies? Hello!
New face, huh? You from Offworld?
Captain Hawthorne of the Unreliable.
A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell, and revel with us?
What are you, celebrating?
Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking.
Won't you get in trouble?
I don't see how. When Sanjar took over MSI, he tossed all the old corporate rules. We ain't required no more to work whatever job the company demands. Our supervisor, Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay.
Let's talk about it then.
Sure thing. What did you want to discuss?
Velma's threatening to replace you with sublight contractors.
Nope. I'm calling her bluff. If she wants to threaten us, we'll see how she likes it when Sanjar finds out she gave Sublight even more dominion in Stellar Bay.
How long can you afford to miss work?
Not forever, but we've each saved up our bits, and I stashed them safe in my home by the diner. I reckon we could last a week or two at least.
Any suggestions for how to put pressure on Velma to negotiate?
If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better. The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no proof they're true.
What's this about blackmail now?
I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma's taking a cut off the profits. So far, it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon.
All right, we have a dilemma here. His home near the diner.
All I'm saying, son, is
say
you'll
we
generate
just
more force with the proper grip.
go for
It's
the
more like
stash,
this,
right?
not like that.
No offense, Max, but I think I know my way around a tossball stick. I got my own set of highly specialized skull-cracking techniques.
Maybe we gotta go up this way. And then we can jump across. The other way? I think this should work. Bink!
Just don't make any trouble.
Staying out of sight.
I'm good.
You're a deft hand with a mag pick.
Thank you. Okay. I like that we can get out of it every time, though. That's nice. Caleb, buddy, I did the bad thing and I stole from you.
Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell, and revel with us?
We need to talk.
Sure thing. What did you want to discuss?
Bad news, you don't have a savings. You don't have the savings you think you do.
What? Something happened to our stashed bit cards? But I hid it so careful. No one saw me put the lockbox on my balcony. No one goes up there but me. We must be dealing with some sort of criminal mastermind. Well, if we can't afford to skip work, we ain't got no leverage. Space me, but good. I guess you ought to tell Velma we're coming back to work.
Wow. We didn't even... I wanted the option to tell him that it was us who did it, but... God, I thought that was blood right there. Big old blood splatter. Velma, I got some good news for you.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt tuna guts.
The workers are coming back.
You knocked any sense into them yet?
They're coming back.
Funny how that works out. Thanks for your help. You've gotten me out of a tight spot here. Take this for your efforts. Honest work deserves honest pay. Something else on your mind?
No, ma'am. Okay. Quest here. Poison pills. Search for clues. Look for Tucker Needham and Amber Hess. Search the house. Retrieve the missing passcode. Where do they want me to go for this, huh? They want me to leave, huh? But it is on this map. Yep, it is on this map. Okay. There's only one quest really left to do. Get Naoki, some MSI, blah 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 blah. And then we'll get her as a companion, I would assume. And then from there, what's this? Who the fuck are you?
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember. What can Auntie Abigail do for you?
Are you in charge of handing out medicine?
Yes, indeed. Someone's got to keep Stellar Bay's people healthy and energized.
You certainly seem excited about your job. She's popped off the Kims.
Oh, but I am. I get to see plenty of my neighbors here, and I do dearly love a little gossip.
Alright, well, I've been asked to pick up a caffeinoid supplement.
And what a helpful young man you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits. Who's your lucky friend, dearie?
Oh, she better be so mad. They're for me.
I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts and the marauder filth chasing away what little trade we get, I'm afraid I have to reserve my supply for Stellar Bay residents. Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it a shame what some people will do to get a little extra?
Oh, you can't trust people these days. I'm gonna get it.
Except for you. I can tell. You've got one of those faces. I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there anyone else needing a special pickup from Auntie Abigail?
I don't know, Auntie. You'll have to pry that secret out of my sweet little cheeks.
Aren't you a saucy thing? I may not be a fresh young thing anymore, but with age comes experience, dearie.
Why don't you show me a thing or two?
Much as I'd love to. My rheumatism is especially fierce at the moment, and I'm all out of my medicine. But I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. You were here for caffeinoid, weren't you? Who's it for?
Naoki?
Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry.
There must be some way I can increase Naoki's allotment.
I'm afraid not. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them.
I thought you were in charge around here, Auntie. You sure ought to be.
Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his.
Remind me, what supply room?
The one upstairs, where we store our medicines.
Where could I find Dr. Williams?
In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the flower of enlightenment. On the way, he tried some rather daring substance combinations.
Where's the graveyard?
The graveyard's near the southern ruins. You're certainly welcome to pay our respects, but the bodies tend to attract beasties.
You're gonna go tussle with some raptidons? Because I've been practicing my dropkick.
Do be careful. I'd hate for anything to happen to you, dearie.
Let's threaten her. Let's go. Give it to me.
Well, this certainly isn't worth my good health. I'll get you a dose, but I'll have you know, I'm very disappointed in you. There, and good riddance. That's the last help you're getting from Abigail Edwards.
Oh, shit. Whoops. I did not mean to fucking send my Goonies to fucking attack her. That was nuts. I definitely did not mean to do that. Yeah, we got what we needed. What is this? Indestructible highlight reach quarter. Okay, Naoki.
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
Let's get this done in this episode. Carry on with our day.
Ah, the charmer. Welcome back. Drink, chat, or business?
I got your
All of
caffeinoid.
the above?
I got your caffeinoid, lady.
More or less dangerous than a steady supply of alcohol. Give it here. Whew, that hits the spot. Right in the, oh, no, there it is. There it is. Yes. We're in business. Let's go.
Glad to have you.
Great. Where to?
Let's find the information broker.
Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there, there's a western slope that'll lead us through some fun. You like hunting, right? That's fun. If you're more of a spelunker, Rotting River will take you into the mountain caverns. We can discuss options when we get closer. That said, 3's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
Baker Max, wait, yeah, we'll send Felix.
Long as you've got my back, I'll have yours. Welcome to the Unreliable Crew.
You look like a preacher. You a traveling vicar?
In a manner of speaking.
All right, everybody, I'm going to be saving right here, and that is going to be it for part
Vicar once. He took it upon himself
7.
to convince Graham's
Peace
folk
out.
to come back to the